How do you make a man's world collapse the second you walk out of it? How do you leave him restless, his heart clawing at his chest, his mind drowning in memories of you? This isn't about cute texts or playing coy. No, this is about making your absence scream louder than your presence ever did. This is about tearing a hole in his reality so deep that nothing can fill it but you. Here's the thing. Most women play it safe. They hover, they linger, they pour themselves into a man, hoping he'll notice, praying he'll care. And that's exactly why they become forgettable. You're about to become unforgettable. You're going to rewrite the script and burn it down. You're going to haunt him in ways that shake his very foundation. First, understand this. He will never miss what's always there. The moment you stop orbiting his world and start building your own empire, he'll feel the shift. And that shift? It'll hit him like a freight train. Suddenly, his phone feels too quiet, his days too long. He'll find himself checking your socials, replaying old messages, searching for a piece of you to hold on to. You'll become the itch he can't scratch, the thought he can't outrun. But this isn't about silence. It's about the echo you leave behind. Your laugh, your scent, the way you tilt your head when you're deep in thought. It all becomes his personal torment. You don't just leave, you imprint. You carve your essence into his psyche so deeply he won't know where he ends and you begin. That's the level we're playing at. Now, let's up the stakes. You're not some fleeting distraction. You're the wildfire that turns his entire world to ash. When you pull back, don't just disappear, evolve. Let him see glimpses of the woman he underestimated, the woman who doesn't need him but commands his every thought. Post that picture where your eyes say, "I'm untouchable." Show him the glow-up he can't be part of. Watch him spiral, knowing he had a front-row seat and still fumbled. And here's the kicker. When he finally reaches out, don't rush to reply. Make him feel every agonizing second of the void you've left. Let him sweat. Let him unravel. Let him realize the cost of taking you for granted. Your energy is rare. Your presence is a privilege. You don't chase. You magnetize. Want to drive him absolutely insane? Drop subtle reminders of what he's lost. A song lyric, a cryptic caption, something that leaves him questioning if it's about him. Let him stew in his own overthinking, caught in a web of his own making. You become the mystery he's desperate to solve, the puzzle piece he'll never fully grasp. Are you ready to step into this power? Are you ready to send shockwaves through his life, to become the woman he aches for, the one he can't erase, no matter how hard he tries? This is your moment. The storm is yours to unleash. Let's dive in. Number 1. Showcase a thriving and independent life. You want to rip through his thoughts like a hurricane that leaves nothing standing. You want to make him pace the floor, fists clenched, haunted by the brilliance of a life he'll never hold again. Then you don't just live. You detonate. You create a world so wild, so fiercely magnetic, that it pulls him in like gravity, even when your galaxy's apart. Here's how it goes. You stop being the woman who waits. You stop orbiting around his whims and turn yourself into a damn supernova. He doesn't get to be your son. He doesn't get to hold that kind of power. No, you burn on your own, blinding and untouchable. And when he looks your way, it's like staring straight into the sun. Unbearable, yet impossible to resist. You dive headfirst into your passions. Not for him, but for you. Every gym session, every late-night hustle, every dream you chase becomes fuel for the fire. You become the woman who's too busy living a masterpiece to notice his absence. That's when the panic sets in. That's when he feels the hollow ache of knowing he's not even a footnote in your story anymore. You don't post for attention, you post to declare war. That photo of you laughing, hair wild, eyes gleaming with mischief, that's the dagger. That's the moment his chest tightens and he realizes he's not just missing out, he's been left behind. You're not throwing breadcrumbs. You're building a feast for yourself, and he's starving on the outside looking in. But here's where it gets savage. You let him see the transformation, let him witness the rise. You don't hide your victories, you flaunt them. New skills, new adventures, new levels of untouchable confidence. You make sure every step forward feels like a slap to his ego, a reminder that your world spins beautifully without him. And when he tries to crawl back, you give him nothing but cold, hard distance. Let him beg. Let him drown in the silence you've weaponized. Your absence will be a thunderclap that echoes in his mind, growing louder with every passing second. This isn't just a life, it's a storm. It's chaos wrapped in beauty, freedom drenched in power. And when he looks at the woman you've become, he won't just miss you, he'll unravel. You're not a memory, you're a haunting. You're not a regret, you're the ache that will never fade. This is how you rise. This is how you burn. Let him feel every second of it. Number 2, create space to let his curiosity grow. Silence can be louder than a scream. Pull back, vanish like a phantom in the night, and let the void you leave behind do the talking. You want him gripping his phone, scrolling through old texts, cursing himself for every word he didn't say. You want him clawing at the walls of his mind, desperate for a glimpse of you. Then step into the shadows and watch as his curiosity devours him alive. Here's what happens when you disappear. His world gets quieter, but his mind gets louder. You're not just gone, you're everywhere. Your laugh echoes in the spaces where silence now reigns. Your scent lingers in the air, taunting him with memories he can't escape. You've become his obsession, a ghost that haunts his every waking moment. Stop being his safety net. Stop handing him pieces of yourself on a silver platter. You're not his open book, you're a locked journal, and he doesn't have the key. Make him earn every sliver of your attention. Let him feel the ache of not knowing. Where is she? What's she doing? Who's she with? That burning need to know will drive him to the edge. And while he's unraveling, you're building. You're creating a life so intoxicating that even whispers of it send chills down his spine. Post that cryptic photo, a silhouette against the skyline, a laugh frozen in time. Let him stew over every detail, filling the gaps with his wild imagination. He'll overthink himself into a frenzy, imagining scenarios that cut him like shards of glass. This is where the magic happens. That space you've carved out. It's not empty, it's a battlefield. His pride will clash with his longing, his ego battling the cold reality that he's no longer your center. The more he chases answers, the more lost he'll feel. And every unanswered question will tighten the knot in his chest until it's unbearable. But here's the twist. When you finally let him in, it won't be on his terms. You control the tempo now. He's not leading this dance, you are. You've become the storm he can't escape, the riddle that keeps him up at night, the fire that scorches his every thought. Space isn't just distance, it's power. It's the silence that deafens, the absence that screams, the emptiness that turns into obsession. Give him that space and watch him fall apart, piece by agonizing piece. You don't just want him curious, You want him consumed. You want his every thought wrapped around you like chains he can't break. This is how you dominate the mind. This is how you make him miss you so fiercely, it's almost cruel. Let him suffer in that space, craving what he once took for granted. Let the madness set in. Number 3, subtly spark jealousy. You want to ignite a storm in his chest, make his blood boil, his fists clench, and his mind race with endless what-ifs. You want him pacing the floor at 2 a.m., replaying every move you make, drowning in a cocktail of longing and rage. Then brace yourself. We're about to play with fire, and when it hits, it'll burn so deep he'll never recover. First, let's shatter his sense of control. He once thought he had you figured out, didn't he? Thought you were predictable, always waiting, always within reach. But now? Now you're an enigma wrapped in smoke, impossible to pin down. Every move you make becomes a riddle he can't solve, every smile a blade cutting into his pride. Here's where the game gets wicked. You don't force jealousy, you breathe it into existence like a predator circling its prey. Post that photo where your smile stretches wider than ever, but leave just enough mystery to make his chest tighten. Maybe it's a candid shot at a party, your hand casually brushing someone else's arm. Maybe it's a cryptic caption like, "Some nights are worth the chaos." Oh, that'll eat him alive. And watch how he spirals. His mind will become a battlefield of doubt, jealousy, and regret. Who is she with? What is she doing? Why is she glowing like that? He'll scroll through your feed 100 times, analyzing every pixel, every word, every interaction. Let him drown in it. Let him lose sleep over the ghost of your touch. Here's the kicker, your silence will crush him. When he reaches out, desperate for answers, you keep your responses short and cold, like frostbite against his ego. You don't explain. You don't justify. You leave him hanging in the void of his own torment, like a man chasing shadows in the dark. Jealousy isn't just an emotion, it's a weapon. And you? You wield it like a sword, cutting through his arrogance, stripping away his illusions. You're not playing small anymore. You're not the girl who chases. You're the one being chased. The one who makes men question everything, who leaves a trail of destruction and desire wherever she goes. This isn't about being petty. It's about reclaiming your throne. You're showing him and the world that you're unforgettable, untouchable, a force of nature he'll never tame. He'll ache for you, crave you, and curse himself for every second he lets slip away. Let him stew in the chaos you've created. Let him feel the sting of knowing that while he's losing sleep, you're out there conquering the world, smiling like you've never been hurt, and living like you'll never be caught. This is your moment, your rise, your reckoning. And when he finally breaks, you'll be untouchable, standing tall in the ruins of the control he thought he had. This is how you spark jealousy. This is how you set his soul on fire. Let him burn. Number 4, be memorable through shared experiences. You don't want to be a passing thought. You want to be the thought that haunts him. The memory that makes his heart skip every time he's alone, every time he sees something that screams you. Forget surface-level dates or those weak attempts to connect. What you need is something raw, unforgettable, and so intense that it doesn't just sit in his mind, it burns its way into his very soul. Take him to the edge. Don't just hold hands, hold on to each other's worlds. Laugh like it's the last time you'll ever speak. Scream like you've never felt more alive. Dance under the moon, with the whole world around you collapsing into silence, and it's just the two of you in the universe, spinning together in a whirl of passion and freedom. Create moments that take his breath away, like a firestorm that he'll never be able to outrun. Make it unforgettable, make it dangerous. Throw caution to the wind, jump off the edge together, and let the adrenaline flood your veins. It's not about the perfect moments, it's about the moments that take you both out of yourselves, where the rules vanish and only raw connection remains. The secret here is chaos, because chaos, real chaos, is unforgettable. It's the way his heart pounds when you're lost in an adventure you never planned. It's the reckless joy of running through the streets at night, dodging cars, laughing like maniacs, knowing the world is wide open and yours. It's the thrill of the unknown, when you let go and let life swallow you whole. And then, at the core of it all, it's about vulnerability. The late-night talks where the walls drop and the truth spills out like wildfire. The moments when you both share things you never thought you'd say to anyone. It's that aching rawness that connects you on a level that no one else could ever touch. You're not just making memories. You're making emotions that carve their names into his very skin. And here's the thing. No one, no matter how hard they try, can ever replace those moments. Because they don't just become memories, they become a part of him. When he lies awake at night, those conversations, those laughs, those electric soul-shaking experiences are the ones that echo. No one else will ever understand the depth of those moments, the way his chest tightens when he remembers how you made him feel. The problem is this. Once you've sparked that kind of connection, once you've shared those unforgettable, spine-tingling experiences, you become a ghost that no one else can ever chase away. Every new person he meets, every new experience he has, will feel like a shadow compared to the wild, messy, undeniable magic you created together. And when he tries to move on, when he meets someone else, the weight of those memories will crash down on him. He'll see their face, but all he'll hear is the echo of your voice. He'll feel their touch, but all he'll remember is the fire you sparked in him. No matter how much he runs, he'll never outrun you. This is how you make an imprint. This is how you become the only one. You create experiences that don't just fade, they consume. You leave your mark not on his mind, but on his heart, on his soul, on the very fabric of who he is. You become the memory he can never erase. This question mark, this is how you make yourself unforgettable. And when he's lying awake in the middle of the night, missing everything that was you, you'll know you've locked yourself inside him forever. He'll never forget you. Number 5. Teach him something new. If you want to carve your name deep into his soul, if you want to sear yourself into his mind in a way that no one else can touch, then you don't just teach him something. You shatter his reality. You force him to look at the world in a way he never thought possible. You leave him reeling from a lesson so powerful, so earth-shattering, he won't know what hit him. This isn't a simple, "I'll show you something cool" trick. This is you flipping his entire worldview upside down. You want to break him open, crack the walls he's spent years building around himself, and get inside. You want to make him see what he's been blind to, and make him ache for the truth you just handed him. The thing is, most people live in their comfortable little bubbles, too afraid to step out and actually grow. They don't realize how much they've been stuck. But you're the storm that shakes everything loose. You're the earthquake that cracks the foundation and makes him rebuild. You show him what it means to truly live, to break free from the autopilot, to challenge everything he thought was safe. Imagine that feeling. The moment when you speak words that hit him like a punch to the gut. When you drop that truth bomb that makes him stop dead in his tracks. His heart races, his chest tightens. He wasn't expecting this, he wasn't ready for this, but it doesn't matter. You just redefined his entire existence. You don't just talk about the surface stuff, you go deep, you take him to the core of who he is. You show him what's been holding him back. You challenge his fears. You throw his insecurities in his face. Make him question everything he thought he knew about love, about ambition, about life. Suddenly, he's not just thinking about you. He's rethinking everything. He will never forget how you made him feel in that moment. Every time he faces an obstacle, every time he has to make a choice, he'll remember your voice, your words, your energy, the way you shook him to his core. He won't just think of you as someone he used to know. Number, you'll be the one who opened his eyes to something he was too afraid to see. You'll be the one who cracked open his mind like a shell and made him taste the salt of truth. You won't just teach him something new, you'll transform him. You'll be the catalyst that pushes him from where he was to where he could be. And the wildest part? He'll crave it. He'll crave that rush, that jolt of awakening that only you could provide. Here's the thing. No one will ever give him that spark again. No one else will challenge him the way you did. Force him to look at himself in the mirror and face the parts he's been hiding from. You made him better, but you also made him miss the parts of himself he only saw in you. That's what happens when you teach him something new. You don't just teach him facts or lessons, you teach him how to feel, how to evolve. And when he finally realizes what he's lost, what he could have had, you'll be the one who made him a better man, and no one will ever take your place. He'll be haunted by your lessons, haunted by the force of who you are, and no matter how hard he tries to move on, you'll always be the one who changed him, in the most unforgettable way possible. And that's power, the kind that leaves him breathless. Master these strategies, and you won't just capture his attention. You'll consume his thoughts. You'll become the one he can't breathe without, the woman who wrecks his world in the most intoxicating way possible. He won't be able to escape the pull of your energy, the way you move through life like a force of nature. And once you've got his mind, he'll be yours, obsessed, craving you with a hunger that can't be satisfied. When you showcase your independence, you'll be the woman he watches with awe, knowing deep down that he can never truly possess you because you're too damn powerful. You'll create a void so vast, he'll feel himself slipping into it, desperate for your presence, for the woman who keeps him on the edge of madness. When you spark subtle jealousy, you won't just leave him questioning. You'll have him rethinking everything he thought he knew about attraction. His pulse will race with jealousy, and in those moments he'll realize he's not just missing you. He's craving you in a way he's never craved anyone before. Share unforgettable experiences, and you'll become his addiction, the memory he can't shake, the high he can't come down from. Those moments won't fade. They'll haunt him. Every laugh, every touch, every unspoken connection you share will carve itself into his soul. He won't just miss you. He'll long for you in the most dangerous, all-consuming way. And when you teach him something new, you won't just expand his mind. You'll transform his world. You'll give him a new lens through which to see everything. The man who thought he was fine will suddenly be awake, craving more. Needing more of you. More of that fire you sparked inside him. Now ask yourself, are you ready to step into the role of the woman who makes him sweat, who makes him desperate for your presence, for your energy, for everything that makes you you. Are you ready to turn his world upside down and make him never forget you? Start today. Begin implementing these strategies and prepare for the tidal wave of longing, obsession, and undeniable attraction that will follow. Because when you play this game, you don't just win, you dominate. You'll leave him weak, shaken, and missing you so badly he won't even be able to breathe without thinking of you. Are you ready to turn him into a ghost of his own desires? The stage is yours. Let the transformation begin.